Ma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ma. Nung nagkaroon kasi ng crisis sa space, isa ako sa mga teachers na natanggalan ng trabaho kasi sabi nila hindi naman daw ako ganun magaling. Hindi rin po totoo na may MA ako kasi hindi rin po ako nabigyan ng scholarship grant. Mula po nung natanggalan ako ng trabaho dun sa Esmelactan, nag-double job po ako para kumita ng pera. Para may padala sa inyo. I'm sorry, Ma. I'm sorry. Alam ko naman na kahit anong mangyari, mahal na mahal niyo ko eh. Pero ako lang po kasi yung hindi makatanggap na hanggang dito na lang po ako. Na kahit anong gawin ko, hindi ako magiging kasing galing ni Bobby. Oo, Bobby. Ikaw yung kahit wala lang, kahit anong gawin mo, ang galing-galing mo. Ako, kahit anong kayod ko, kahit anong pagod ko, kahit kailan, hindi ako lumapit sa galing mo. Kasi, ikaw naman talaga yung magaling, di ba? Ikaw yung matalino, ikaw yung maganda, lahat ikaw na. Kapatid kita, Bobby. Kaya mahal na mahal kita. Pero, alam mo yung totoo? Inggit na inggit ako sa'yo. Inggit na inggit ako sa'yo, Bobby.
Pero bakit parang galit ka? Pero bakit parang kasalanan ko? Sa totoo nga, ako yung inggit na inggit sa inyong lahat. Kasi meron kayo ng mga bagay na sana meron din ako. Sana nagkaroon din ako ng sense of humor mo kasi benta-benta yan sa akin eh. Benta-benta rin yung kay Mama. Kaya nga siguro lahat ng attention niya nasa iyo. Simula nung umuwi ako, wala ko ibang narinig sa inyo kundi mayabang ako, masama ugali ko, bitchesa ako sa pagiging prangka ko. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry kung matigas ako sa paningin nyo. Kung malamig ako, I'm sorry. I'm sorry kasi pinili ko maging ganun. Kailangan ko maging ganun. Lalo yung nagpunta ako sa New York. Pero alam mo, hindi ko ginawa yun para sa sarili ko. Ginawa ko yun. I had to go there for us, for our family's future. Kasi napabaw na tayo sa utang, sa pagkakasal si Papa, sa operahan si Mama. Tapos si CJ, kailangan na mag-college. Tapos si Gabby, maliit yung sweldo. Tapos si Teddy, kailangan ng pera papunta ng Spain. Tapos ikaw, wala kang permanenteng trabaho at ayoko patigilin ka sa pagpipelikula mo. Kasi ang sabi mo sa akin, dun ka masaya, dun ka magaling, dun magiging proud sa'yo si Mama. Kaya kahit gustong-gusto kong umuwi, kasi ang lungkot, ang hirap-hirap mag-isa, miss na miss ko kayo lahat. Pero lahat yun, tinig ko. Nagpakatatag ako, nagpakatigas ako kasi kailangan ko. Pero hindi dahil matigas ako. Wala akong pakiramdam. Na hindi na ako nasasaktan. Nasasaktan din ako.
Good day, everyone. I am Joyce Angeline B. FRIVALDO, a third-year student from the Civil Engineering Department.
Hi everyone, I'm Trisha Ann B. also a third-year student from the Civil Engineering Department, and we are from Section C98.
Today, we are going to tackle about our film critic entitled Four Sisters and a Wedding.
So, the film is made in the year 2013, and the director is Cathy Garcia Molina. It is a comedy drama type of film that pertains to what most Filipino families go through to strive in life. The Salazar siblings have been pursuing their lives separately in the recent years. The eldest sibling named Teddy is working as a teacher in Spain. The second child named Bobby is working as a corporate communications manager in New York. The third sibling named Alex is a Manila-based independent film assistant director. The fourth sibling is Gabby, who is a school teacher that lives at home. The last sibling is named CJ, who works as an IT professional in Manila. The supporting characters are the following. First is Tristan Harris. He is the boyfriend of Bobby Salazar. The next is Trixie. Trixie is the daughter of Tristan Harris. The third character is Chad. Chad is the ex-fiancé of Bobby and is the current long-term boyfriend of Alex. The fourth one is Frodo. Frodo is the love interest of Teddy. The next is Princess Baya. It's Baya, as according to them. Princess is the future wife of CJ. Jeanette Baya is the mother of Princess. Honeyboy Baya is the father of Princess. Tati Marie is the lesbian helper that lives with the Salazar family. Manang is also a long-term helper. The story begins when CJ announces that he will be marrying his girlfriend Princess, whom he met just 3 months ago. Of course, the sisters were shocked and dismayed, so they agreed to dissuade him from marrying his fiancée. But as they interact with each other, the emotions and the problems that they tried to hide also became a problem that they must deal with. For Teddy, she's trying to hide the truth that she failed being a teacher in Spain and that she downgraded into working as a maid and a waitress, which also disables her from being successful, which was what her mother, Grace, wanted her to be. Bobby is struggling to marry her boyfriend due to an experience to an ex-lover whom she got engaged with, but they broke up. And then her ex became the boyfriend of her sister, Alex. For Alex, she becomes overly insecure and possessive over her long-term boyfriend named Chad, who is Bobby's ex-fiancé. Gabby hates being outcasted and unappreciated by their mom. While CJ, who is in the middle of all this chaos, is trying to do both his responsibilities for his family and for his future wife. This film is a good presentation of family relationships, of siblings who grew together and then apart, and what it takes for them to grow together again, to make up for their lost time together, with love and forgiveness in their hearts, and with acknowledgement of their whole family.
The group also evaluates the social and political context of the film. In terms of its social context, the film represents a modernized society setup in a sense that it conveys the following. Matriarchal Filipino families wherein it is not the traditional type of the family that we have, wherein the male figure is the one who lead the family. But in this movie, Grace Salazar, as portrayed by Miss Connie Reyes, raised her children as a solo parent, and her children depicts who they are today. The next one is empowered women. It is very evident in the in the movie rather, that Teddy, Bobby, Gabby, and Alex are empowered women in a sense that they know what they want, they act about their age, they act what they want, they do what they want, and they can decide on their own in terms of work field, personal relationship, financial aid, and other personal matters that every woman should possess and do so. The third one that depicts the modern life society is the openness in gender identity. If you would remember, Trisha mentioned the character named Tati Marie as portrayed by Miss Cecil Paz. In the movie, she is not the typical women that the society engaged with or the society embraced, because she is an open lesbian helper wherein she dresses like a man, act like a man, and do a manly things, just like being together with CJ and the other boyfriends of the Salazar siblings in that so-called boys' night out. The fourth one is abolishment of gender roles. It is seen in the movie that the Salazar siblings and the mother herself is the best portrayal that there's no such thing that a father can do more in guiding his children than the mother, because when it comes to handling things, it is not just about the gender, who is stronger, who is softer, who is weak, because in this movie the women is not portrayed as soft, weak-hearted, because in this movie maybe the director highlighted that women can be as stronger as male. They can be as firm just like male, and women can also decide, can do their own thing just like what the male does. The fifth one is globalization in a sense of developing diversity sensitivity in one's workplace. Bobby and Teddy are both working abroad, and this just shows that they are both well-equipped, they are both adopted from different cultures, because Philippines is way different in Spain. The culture that we have here is way different from the liberty that New York offers. So in that sense, whether they are working abroad or in a foreign country, they tend to adapt to that workplace, which makes them be more exposed to cultural diversity, which evolve their personal character or character development into a more diverse and sensitive way. Moving forward, eccentricities of typical Filipino family. Filipinos possess strong, close family ties. If you would compare how our social cultural engagement when it comes to developing family or relationship within family members as compared to the foreign or let's say the Western type of propagating one's family, it's way different, because we tend to, for example, in a one household, it's very common for a family to have a grandparent, auntie, or relatives. When it comes to Western type of living with the family, the parents let their children to rent their own place or to have their own place at the age of 18. When it comes to typical Filipino family, some family members will have they will create their own family living on the same household. Second, comparison is evident and it displays favoritism. This is where the conflict started in the movie, and this is also observable in a family. One may perceive that the parent may in favor of the others, may it be intentional or not. Pretending to be okay regardless of misadventures and posing a strong facade. Filipinos are known to be resilient, that they can get through with everything, but the missing part is that accepting things, may it be in its deformable face, is better than denying and keep on neglecting the things that is happening in your very eyes. Losing credibility. This will be further discussed in the latter part of this critic, for it is one of the peak plot of the film. And lastly, determining one's progress as a basis instead of appreciating own achievements. This is very common attributes that a person possesses, especially in a modern day society, where everything is on its rapid pace, and one may feel like he was left behind because he kept on comparing her journey to others' journey. Moving forward, still under the social and political context, but for now we will tackle the political context. First, wealth imposes superiority and decodes inferiority. This is very saddening, but this is the reality. And the film displays this political issue in a direct manner, wherein the Bayabs belittles the Salazars and doesn't even move a brow and decided on their own, because they know that they have the money, which really invalidates Salazar's opinion toward the bid. Second, going abroad will always be an option for most Filipinos to support their families. This may sound very familiar because it is very common that in a single household, there would be at least one, or in a family or a branch of family, there would be one or more OFWs. It is seen in the movie that Bobby moved to New York mainly not for her own pursuit, but to support her family's future. Fourth, Philippines has high standard qualifications when it comes to work, yet the professionals, employees are not properly compensated. In this movie, Gabi is a professional teacher, yet she has small salary regardless of graduating with colors. And that clearly depicts that Philippines has high standards, yet they don't have the capacity or capabilities to compensate these high standard employees. And lastly, young people tend to be invalidated and deprived in deciding for oneself. Just in the movie, the Salazar sisters thinks that CJ is too young for such a big decision, which is marrying or entering the marriage life. That he is not yet ready, for he is still a baby boy to his sister's eyes. In terms of our group stance on the work created, the film Four Sisters and a Wedding reflects a normal flawed family who lacks in many ways, but still managed to be the greatest support system that one yearns for. In a deeper sense, it is not the past mistakes, misinterpreted actions, and poor decisions that makes up the movie, but the genuine care and support, acceptance, and capability to be forgiving is a true essence of the film. With this, the group sees the film positively, for it shows a realistic approach, yet promotes a heartwarming, relatable resolution.
Moving forward, we are going to tackle the scope that the group used in order to analyze the film. The first scope that we used is text. Well, there are three widely used languages in the film, which is Filipino, English, and Spanish. There are also some bits of the French language, for example, is bonjour, which is used by the mother of princess for the pamamangkikan episode or scene. The story of the film is about a typical family who wants the best for all of the members. Family members are, of course, concerned about the future of everyone, but sometimes the concern that is felt by the other member is not being perceived the same way for the other family members. And at most times, family members need more understanding and trust than too much concern and debates. The second scope is the creator. The film is based by the screenplay of Jose Javier Reyes. His works are mostly inclined towards the middle class faults and aspirations. That may have been the probable cause why this film is made the way that it is. The film also shows the side of a family who does not have too much, but not too little. The third part is context. Social climate can be defined as the perceptions of a social environment that is shared by a group of people. The most prominent perception that the film talks about is that younger people are not thinking straight about the responsibilities that they will have to deal once they have decided. Some political issues that are posed in this film are the need for some Filipinos to go abroad in order to support their families, because the industries in the Philippines may have high qualifications, but the professionals tend to be improperly compensated. The fourth one is media. The film is said to be one of the most iconic films made by the Philippines, since the film brought together several famous actresses and actors in the country, and the movie is created with a good blend of family comedy and the complexity of a matriarchal Filipino family. The film is about the never-ending love of family, that no matter what you do or who you are, your family will still open their arms and accept you for who you are. The film also caters the unbreakable bond between siblings. Yes, they might fight, but at the end of the day, they are the people who will lend a reliable arm to help the sibling in need. The film is, of course, very effective in giving out the message since it became famous for the cause and since it's very relatable. The fifth scope that we used is the audience. Watching the film can really be a tearjerker with a mix of laughter. The film is suitable for the general masses, especially for Filipino families, since the film tackles a truthful family situation where the members have to leave and work away from home, and where members are trying to hide how they feel, to hide all of the failures, and to keep those to themselves. The film is effective and can lead them to realize things that they should prioritize and be grateful about. According to RottenTomatoes.com, with 250 plus ratings, the average rating for Four Sisters and a Wedding is 4.15 out of 5 stars. So, it seems like the film is warmly received by the people. And it may also be one of the audience's most favorite film since after some years, it had a prequel. The year gap is 7 years, from 2013 to 2020. The group also evaluated the elements that are present in the film, and those are media, characters, style and technique, and symbols. The group defines media as it depicts the purpose and the essence of the work. Characters is defined as the evaluation of the development of the characters, while styles and techniques is defined as the approaches used by the director in the film. And lastly, symbols, which are objects or situations that emphasize the turn of events. The first element that we use to evaluate the film is media. The movie is implying that showing your true self will not make your family judge you, but more likely, they will accept you through your highs and lows in life. Being truthful is always better than pretending. The film promotes simple context clues and analysis. Comprehending the film is easy, since there are no barriers when it comes to understanding the film, since there is no complexity from wordings to display of emotions. The next element that we are going to tackle is characters. The characters are well described throughout the film, especially the main characters. Their differences in attitudes, principles, and feelings are well presented by their dialogues, the way they speak, and the way that they interact with one another. The characters have also developed by the end of the story. They learned how to resolve the differences that they have and came into terms with one another. There are also some archetypes that are present in the film for each main character. For Trace, or the mother of the Salazar siblings, she is the sage. As a mother, she wants her children to prosper and gain deeper wisdom to help them conquer the world. Gabby, the caregiver, well, it is obvious that Gabby enjoys taking good care of her mother and her siblings. Although she is one of the youngest, she had more mental instincts than her older sisters. Teddy, the jester. Although Teddy goes through a lot of challenges, she helps lighten up the mood of their home with the use of her sense of humor. Alex, the rebel and explorer. Alex is labeled as the black sheep of the family. She likes to go on adventures to gain new experiences. Bobby, the ruler. During sibling quarrels, Bobby helps in keeping the peace in everyone. Every time that she speaks, she radiates responsibility and authority. And lastly, CJ, the innocent and lover. Being the youngest sibling of 5, he becomes the epitome of youth. He is supposedly going to marry his girlfriend, and that stimulates love.
In terms of styles and techniques, the styles that the director made use are the following. Some of the country's biggest actresses were all together in a picture and displaying notable init Filipino family setup wherein almost everyone could relate on. Plus, the famous lines and heartwarming scenes are the reasons why up until now, this is considered as an all-time modern classic crowd favorite film. It also tackles realist approach wherein the film represents reality based on the setting and photography's ability to render the real world objectively. The director focuses on the strong connectivity of the screenplay to the reality through powerful lines in the scenes that effectively pokes the emotions of the viewers. Next, the film is dramedy kind of film in which it balances the mood of the movie, for it gives different tastes or a flavorful platter that is very prominent to a Filipino's favorite category of the movie. The movie may seem predictable, but the film industry in the Philippines is more on the side of having a good, satisfying, and heartwarming ending of the story, because that's how most of the Filipinos wanted, a light and feel-good style of films. In terms of styles and techniques used to the film, the camera movements, switching of point of view, the lighting, framing, and camera angles are all put together in a well-organized manner because it helps in highlighting the points and peaks of the movie. Confusions are not evident, for it is easy to comprehend and follow. Lastly, its cinematography is not on its very best as compared to the new films today, but still showcases techniques that contributes to the betterment of the tone and total aura of the scenes. In this part, the group identifies 3 symbolic representations in this movie. The first one is Ribisca sandwich biscuits. It plays a big role in describing the close relationship of the characters. If you have seen the movie, you will see that as for the evidences, from their very young age up to their early adulthood, they tend to celebrate their close relationship ties using the representation of Ribisco sandwich biscuits. The second symbolism that the group had seen on the movie is a display of medals. It is very prominent scene because it is continually flashed on the big screen. So the group thinks that it plays a vital role, for it is the characterization of the characters, because it introduces the development of the characters and the conflict of the storyline, because it all started about their achievements and other insecurities or mishaps that they have encountered while growing up. The third and last symbolism that the group identified in the film is the under the water themed wedding. This is not that typical wedding that we have seen, because it's kind of creative and out of the world kind of theme, if you would notice. But in a clearer and a bigger picture, it imposed that it symbolizes the resolution of the film, wherein problems encountered by the characters were all settled, thus it shows new beginnings. To further elaborate the group's stance on this piece, the group have decided to provide evidence, cite relevant theories, made use of quotes, and cite important scenes in the movie that would highlight or emphasize their stance on the piece. The very first thing that the group had noticed throughout watching the whole film that makes us decide that we think the film is more on a positive note, because the film celebrates women's equality, which provide the audience the empowering lessons which the group totally agrees with. The very first thing is matriarchal Filipino families are equally strong as traditional patriarchal family setup. Just what I mentioned earlier, the character of Grace Salazar as portrayed by Miss Connie Reyes is kinda strong, for she raises her children without any supervision or without any partner beside her. And that just simply means that she is indeed as strong as any father figure that we have right now. Second, it emphasizes the value of respect to their parent regardless of what they achieve in life. Just for example, Bobby is very successful on her field of work, which is in line with managerial position in communications in a very enriched country, which is New York. And Gabby and Teddy are both professional in line in teaching. CJ and Alex is also successful on their very own ways, yet they still did not forget to respect their mother the way they respect her when they are younger, because what they attained in life doesn't make them different from how their mother sees them when they were younger. And this just shows that their age is not a barrier, and what they attained in life is not a barrier for them to disrespect or to use an excuse to invalidate or to neglect or to reject the motherly love that they have attained through the character of Connie Reyes. In addition, the film taught the viewers that women may be strong independently, but they are stronger together. Bobby provides financial support to the family without second thoughts. Alex has a sense of empathy, wherein she puts herself in the shoe of others to put things in perspective. Teddy empowers her sisters to be strong and bold to speak up. Gabby is selfless to the point that she always considers everyone's welfare before her own goals and dreams. Combining all these quality traits that they garnered throughout growing, they can be stronger independently or the model of being the best version of oneself. Mistakes will not define who you are, and a strong support system of women is the greatest support system that one could ever have. In this movie, sisterhood is everything. The Salazar siblings are very tangled to one another. If one commit mistakes, it may take a lot of time. Like, it can cover years, just like Bobby and Alex. But at the end of the day, they will have each other because their bond is not just about being siblings. It is more than that, because their relationship is tangled to what they have or what they are now. The next one is the famous quote that I hope everyone is practicing. It is okay to be human, in a sense that seeking other people's help is one of the most natural things to do. There is a famous quote that say, "No man is an island," that we humans are social beings and we are expected to socialize in a sense that we can reach out, we can interact, we can communicate in our own ways. And seeking help doesn't make you look weak, because seeking help is the naturalist thing that everyone could experience in a span of life. The next one is, do not fear failures. If you could see in the movie the famous fight scene wherein Teddy says this quote unquote, "But I am one with the problem, but I can accept that I became a failure." Do not fear failures, because this will lead you to a greater place. Always remember that, because failures is what makes us today. Failures is what makes us stronger today to face more things yet to come. Just like Teddy, when Teddy confessed to her family the situation that she was in that very moment, her mother and her siblings did not even had a doubt to accept her. The next empowering lessons, which the group totally agrees with in the film Four Sisters and a Wedding, is that it is okay to feel hurt. After all, humans are entitled to have different surge of emotions. And putting up a strong facade will not make one stronger, but facing, embracing these emotions will make one stronger. In addition, there is no such perfect relationship, and relationships should have room for forgiveness. It is very innate or very natural for humans to experience fighting. May it be a small or big one, but I'm definitely sure one may experience that in her, at least once in her life, that she had fought about something or someone. But it should not hinder one for having the social or character development for fighting. For I will not tolerate fighting, but this fighting may help someone to be the best version of herself or himself, because it does not promote violence, but because after fighting, reconciliation took part. And that is the important part. Fighting may be natural, but seeking forgiveness or seeking sincerity or seeking sincere apology to someone that you had fought with is a true essence of that one. You should seek forgiveness. On the other way around, you should provide forgiveness. Always trust and have faith to the process. Actually, this is very difficult phase in one's life. Personally, I practice these empowering lessons imparted by the film, because I believe everything underwent process. Anything that deals with instant results, I strongly believe it doesn't last long. It may take years, days, months, weeks. Everything should not be forced. Everything should lean on the process period, because process heals everyone. Process heals wounds. Process provides learnings. And process took part in the development or shaping one's personality or character trait. Just like in this film, Bobby and Alex have shared something not good from the past. It took them years to reconcile. It took Alex a lot of try to initiate a conversation, to initiate the communication that was compromised due to these difficulties or their past mistakes. At the end of the day, they are sisters. They reconcile because they seek and they find their own room of forgiveness for each other. The next empowering lesson, which the group totally agrees with, is very endearing to us. And it goes, respect women, and calling one desperada doesn't make one look good. Because the world is already cruel to women for us to be cruel to each other too. Women should always work hand on hand. If the world is too cruel for us, who would stand for us? So it's better if women empowered women. Women support women. Because in this picture, we all shared attributes that the women possess. And we understand each other. So calling one desperada will not make you a great person. It will not make you greater to the person who called you desperada. Because what you say is what clearly who you are. Moving forward to great quality outcomes. This masterpiece is realistic in a sense that it is a film that everyone can identify themselves to the characters, and the lines and the scenes are too natural that the thin line between artistic view and realism are not that visible. The lines thrown and the emotions perceived throughout the journey of the film is impeccable, with strong appeal to emotions of the viewers. People may misinterpret one's intentions in accordance with the actions, just like Connie Reyes, or as portrayed as people may misinterpret one's intentions in accordance with the action, just like Connie Reyes, portrayed as Grace Salazar in the film, who seems to have her favorites. It may sound negative, but what important is the action taken after knowing how our actions were perceived.
To summarize our overall evaluation about Four Sisters and a Wedding, the film shows that familial affection can really go a long way. It also shows the eccentricities of a typical Filipino family, and the film also represents a modern life society setup. The movie is well received by the audience, enabling it to have a prequel after 7 years. There are different archetypes present in the movie, which makes the characters different from one another. The group sees the film positively, for it shows a realistic approach, yet it proposed a heartwarming and relatable resolution.
Recommendations are the group suggestions that can contribute huge help for the betterment of the quality of the film and its storyline. And it goes. The group thinks it is better if the part when Chad and Bobby are still together is also included in the film to better understand where does the character of Alex coming from, especially on how she overthinks in her relationship with Chad. Again, I am Joyce Angeline D. FRIVALDO, a third-year student from Civil Engineering Department.
And I'm Trisha Ann B. Santos, also a third-year student from Civil Engineering Department. Thank you for watching our film critic. Always remember, wear your mask and wash your head.
Keep safe, everyone!
Bye!